you guys doing? It's been great. The support's been great throughout, but especially in the tough times. And I will say this, I will give gratitude. I'm so pleased with how things have been going for me lately. In the last, I'd say the last year, I'm just grateful to be back working, making money, helping people, teaching, doing what I love, being fit, being in the gym, having good mental health, and having confidence again, and having good people in my life. So I want to say that out loud, because that is the truth. And I really enjoyed the meetup that I done. I think it was about a week ago. I absolutely loved it. I did a free meetup for about, I don't know, it's about 12 to 13, 14 guys on confidence. We went for a lot of questions. It was had a nice social, and I got a really good client from that, which I didn't expect. Always the best things come when you don't expect it. So in today's talk, this is going to be the start of many videos that I'm going to do. I did do videos on this, and I kind of got I got distracted on other topics. And it's about, this is what women taught me. This is what I've learned. Even if women didn't directly say, well, I'm going to teach you this. I've learned this. It's an unbelievable lesson that's been an ongoing. It's been an ongoing. It's a thing that I've been learning ongoing, and I've been doing. I've kind of been forced to reflect on it, and it's been fun reflecting on it. It's been really enjoyable. So, what I've learned from women throughout years of dating, and having many disappointments and heartaches, and also the opposite, a lot of success and happiness. Women have really taught me, and it's triggered in me that if I'm not living my purpose in life, and if I'm not growing and improving and continuously working at facing my fears, then I'm not going to be happy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter how many amounts of women that I date, or it doesn't matter how great a woman is. I mean, I'll be happy that I have a woman in my life to a certain extent, but I'm not going to feel secure in myself. So that's been a lesson that's taken me. How long has that lesson taken me? Well, it's taken probably about 10 years to learn that, and then it's taken a couple more years to actually have the courage to talk about it openly and to apply it. And I spoke a little bit about this at my event. I just touched on it. Some of the guys, I think they appreciated it. I think some of them didn't understand it. Some of them a bit confused. And one of the guys asked me, could I give an example? He was like, well, Jonathan, can you give an example? Like, how do you live your purpose? What does that mean? That's a good question. It's quite challenging. And I was like, look, at the end of the day, everyone's purpose is different. So I can give you an example of my purpose and how I live it. And my purpose is teaching. My purpose is teaching men how to face their fear, how to face their anxiety. So that's my purpose. That's what makes me happy. But everybody's got their own individual purpose. Then he said to me, well, I think he said to me that he works in a studio. He's a personal trainer. He said, well, what if I make it a point of being kind to everybody that comes into my studio? Is that purpose? Is that an example? And I said, yeah, that could be. But to be more specific, I think your purpose is your hobby. So for some people, it's, let's say, for example, let's say Joe Rogan, his purpose is podcasting, and that's what he said, which is fantastic. Or let's say, just examples that come into my head, Tyson Fury's purpose is boxing. So everyone's got their own individual purpose. Who else is there? Let's say, for example, David Goggins, his purpose is, challenging his mental toughness and going out and doing runs and things like that. So everyone's purpose is different. It's not important what the purpose is. What's important is that you find what's your purpose, and live it. And because from my experience with dating women, from dating and not dating, when I haven't lived my purpose, I haven't been happy in the relationships. Because if you're unhappy in your life, generally in yourself, and you're miserable and depressed, and I've been there many times, then you're going to take that into every relationship that you go in. But if you fix that, and you find meaning and happiness, and listen, in the right context, Of course, we all have days where we're not happy. Everyone does. I have it as well, mental health. But generally speaking, if you're in flow and you're enjoying your life, then you're going to carry that into relationships, and they're going to go better. So it sounds simple when you say it, but it's not as easy. It takes courage to live it. It takes courage to do it. And I've noticed that when I open this conversation, a lot of men don't want to talk about it. I don't take that personal. I understand that, and I'm like that as well sometimes. They don't want to speak about it. There's something that is a defense mechanism. It's almost like, I don't want to think about that. I just want a quick fix to get beautiful women. And that's, that's, again, I've said it before in my videos, these are probably more short-lived things that are not going to fulfill you long term. So by all means, of course, someone asked me the question, good question. One of you asked me, well, can I go out and pursue a relationship or pursue dating and find my purpose at the same time? And I said, yeah, of course you can do that. Of course, that's an option. It's your choice. But I still think it would be better if you was to ask me what would the best option be in my life to be happy. I would say fix yourself first as best as you can, and then when you're fixed and happy, then go and ask women out. Now I know it's not always perfect world. It's not always going to go like that. But I'm saying best case scenario, if you could do that, then you would just be on a different level. And as I said, I've lived in a different. I've done these different things. So at the start of my life, I had no purpose in my life. I was unhappy. I was depressed. I was insecure. I was miserable. I had low self-esteem, and I went out and I spoke to women from that place, and it was horrible, and it was miserable. And of course, there were periods where I got a date, and it made me happy for a bit. It gave me that high, but then it didn't last. It come crashing down, and then I was always worried that, would the girl stay with me? Would she still want to be with me if she knew I had all these issues and I wasn't happy? And that brought me a whole set of problems that most of them were in my head. Some of it could be true. So it didn't work for me in the long run. I came crashing down to a bad depression, awful thoughts, suicidal thoughts at times, issues, fears of everything, money, self-worth, what am I doing in my life? I don't feel complete. I went through all of those stages of insecurity and stress and anxiety, and it didn't lead to any happiness. So the next stage of my life, I didn't think this, but I found my purpose. I started coaching. I started off with dating coaching, and as soon as I started doing it, I just loved it. I just loved coaching people. I loved everything that came with that. I loved the feeling of not being selfish, of helping other people, and getting, at the start I did it for free and then I got paid. So I just loved the whole journey of it, public speaking, meeting people, coaching them, having to face my own fears to help other people. I just loved it. It saved me from terrible mental health problems. It really did. It stopped me from wanting to think about killing myself, and from just feeling always low all the time. It kind of kept me up. It kept me driven. It kept me healthy and happy, and my whole confidence changed. So from that place, when I was dating and attracting women, I felt so secure in myself. I felt like, look, let's say I went on a date and I liked a girl, I would feel like, yeah, I hope she likes me back because I really like her. But I would also feel, if she doesn't want to go out with me, not in an arrogant way or defense way, I'm fine with it because I know I can meet another woman and I'm happy. Like, I'm happy with or without her, because the work that I do, coaching and running a business and teaching people, is giving me so much joy. It's taking away those deep insecurities that all of us men have, and it's reducing that neediness that I need women to make me feel good. I need them to take away my feelings of low self or not being good enough. It just was amazing, and I didn't know these things at the time. Obviously I was learning and moving forward, even though I'd heard other teachers talk about this that were more experienced than me, that were older, that were in different areas of life. They're like spiritual teachers or, coaches, or just you just hear things. You just hear things from different people, not always teachers. They'd say things like, the first relationship starts with yourself. If you don't make yourself happy, then no one else can make you happy. And if you don't fix yourself, you're going to go into every relationship like damaged, and you're going to just make the other person miserable, you're going to have problems. I would hear that a lot. I wouldn't always take it in. Good to see you, Timmy. So also as well, this when I see what I learned from dating women, which I'm very thankful for, and I will talk about this more. This happens to everyone if they're honest. When I would go into relationships with women or date women, they would trigger, they would trigger my stuff. They would trigger the good and the negative. The negative being my insecurities. I'm not saying they do it on purpose. Just the very nature of going into a relationship or dating a woman that I'm attracted to and likes me, that intimacy would bring up my issues, my own insecurities, my own deep insecurities that we all have. And those insecurities were around money, a fear of not making enough money and not being good enough, mental health, all my stuff, my looks, my intelligence, all those things that we feel insecure about until we address them. So after quite a few years of ignoring those things and not wanting to look at them, I finally got to a point where I was like, I want to look at this stuff and fix it. And the way I fixed it and the way I've fixed it again was when I started to live my purpose, because the consequences of me living my purpose were I make more money, which makes me feel more secure, and that's one stress out of the way. Secondly, it increases my self-esteem because I'm increasing confidence in other people, I'm helping them. And that always helps you to do that. Anybody that helps other people, even if whether they get paid for it. I mean, if you can get paid for it, even better. But if you don't get paid for it, and I don't always get paid for what I do a proportionate amount of things for free. Like today, it has a spiritual positive effect on you. So that really helped. And as I said, the training, the boxing, working out, the weight training, the physical training, it's all aligned in that, And I think deep down, men know this, but they don't always want to know it because it's you've got to face your fears, obviously, and these things are not easy to do mentally and emotionally. But nonetheless, when you do them, you're so happy with the reward that you get. I need to share this stream. Hold on a second. I'm going to share this out on my Facebook. I'm going to talk more about this on this channel a lot more. I started already. There are other things that I prioritize, but I am going to talk on this more because it's going to take time for men to digest this and apply it. Obviously, if men want. Sorry, I'm just trying to work this out. It's always a bit tricky on the phone. I don't know why. The option is I should get a laptop. Let me just get this laptop. It makes life a bit easier. Actually, I'll leave it. Can't get it. Don't worry, it's easier to do this. I'm probably going to go live tomorrow. I didn't really want to go live today, but I'm kind of doing this because I don't want to lose my train of thought. This is really important. I want to help a lot of men with this. I feel very lucky to have found. I feel lucky to know this because I didn't know it years ago. When I was younger, I wouldn't be interested in someone telling me this either. I wasn't even thinking about what does purpose even mean. Like my whole mindset was just like, I want to get girlfriend and I want to be in love and I, like any guy, it's natural. I want to be liked by women. I want to be successful. It was only later on when you start dating more, getting more experience, and you have when you have a girlfriend, you have a relationship. When you live with a woman, these things start coming up for all men. And if men are honest, I speak to good friends and they're honest about it. And things come up for women as well. We teach one another, whether we like it or not. Women teach men a lot about themselves, the good and the negative, and women reflect back and teach us about ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses. And that's what I said. The biggest lesson I've learned from women is that if I look for happiness in women and I expect them to make me happy and to make me feel secure and loved, I'm going to be very disappointed, and it doesn't work. It works a little bit for the start because of the healthy validation, which is nice, it's human, but it won't last if you're not happy. And you've only got to look at examples of men that are successful in the world Men that are also at the moment, I'm finding that are more successful than I am. They might not be as in that. We don't know for sure. They might not be as happy as I am inside. But let's say materially they're more successful than I am. Most of them, and they're older than me. A lot of them, really good examples. They have like a great relationship. Nothing's perfect, but it's a good relationship. They have the right woman because they're living their purpose, and that makes you happier, really. So I know it's a big word, but I'll change it for a second. Don't have to use the word purpose. A passion. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, a guy is just absolutely loves photography. Like, that's his passion. That sings to his heart, makes him happy. If he does that and lives that, that's his purpose. It's great. Or you got another guy who's a boxer. He loves boxing. He's a professional, and he does boxing. He's in a better place because he's doing something he enjoys. Where if you don't have anything, if you don't have any hobbies that you enjoy, and you're doing a job that you hate, and I've been there, and you despise, then it's so hard to be happy in a relationship with a woman, because you're going to carry it. You can't escape it. You cannot escape it, because it's inside. It's inside, and you've got to go and do it. Obviously, in what we call in the real world. So it just makes sense to me. Why not two birds in one stone? Any guy can do this who's willing to face his fears. And I've helped many clients do it, and I've done it. So any of you can do it if you want to do it, right? I'm not forcing you. It's your choice. Live your purpose and speak to women and date and get the right relationship, or enjoy your dating life, and then it's amazing. Honestly, you feel happier when you do it. I've done both. I can compare them. I've dated women. I've had success with women when I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have much money, and I wasn't running a business and coaching. I've done that, and it was okay, but it was quite depressing and quite sad and lonely. It didn't last, so it wasn't good in the long run. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't do it again. It doesn't work for me. And I've done the second option, which totally works, and I love it with all my heart. That's why I'm making a teaching, passionate about it. Where living my purpose, dating, and pursuing to meet the right woman, or in a relationship. It's the best feeling in the world, man. Then you've got the best of both worlds. Then you can love a woman, then you can receive the love, then you can give more to her, because she's more happier being around a man who's happy in himself. Everybody wins. Everybody wins, It really is like, I almost like want to speak out more on it, because I just feel that so many men, like, they don't value themselves enough. They don't realize what they have and what they could be, because they just believe that they're not good enough, that they're worthless, and it's not true. And I used to believe that about myself as well, when I was I just didn't have this life experience that I got now. I didn't have the courage, and I hadn't faced enough to get that understanding and realization, both internally and externally. I guess another question, well, I do get this quite regularly, and it's a good question. I will do it on the video. I'll address it now. Lots of men will ask me, and I've seen them ask other teachers or people online. They'll be like, well, I don't know what my purpose is in life. How do I find it? That's a good question. That's a good way to start, because I didn't know what my purpose was when I was younger. I remember going to the careers advisor when I was looking for a job. The government had these schemes where you'd go to, like, I went to a place in Hammersmith, and it was basically, an organisation to help young people get back to work that were unemployed and didn't really get great grades at school, which was where I was at that time. And I remember sitting down having an interview, and they would say to me, like, what is it you want to do, Jonathan? And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I kind of knew what I didn't want to do, but I didn't feel confident, and I didn't know. And if I was to say what I wanted to do, it just felt like it was unrealistic. So, if I said I want to be a footballer or an actor, in my own mind back then, I would just think, like, I can't achieve that. I'm not good enough. That's not possible for me. So I'd end up saying jobs that I didn't really want to do, like, I just want to get a full-time job. It was very vague. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And at the time, the people that were speaking to me, they're only doing their job, which I appreciate, but they didn't have the skill. They weren't at a certain level, like a teacher like myself now, or someone else that could help me to find my true purpose in life. and that's fair enough. So it came a lot later on. So I hope that anybody watching this video, any young man or man of any age, I hope that I can play a part in helping you to find your purpose quicker than I found it, so you don't have to waste the next 10 years of your life being unhappy and not knowing what you want to do. And I think it's a question that we should all ask ourselves, because at the end of the day, we all share quite a lot of things in common. We all want to be happy in life, especially us guys, and there's so much mental illness right now at the moment in the world. I know with men and women, especially men, that this is important. It's so important for mental health. That's really my whole journey has been about that. My whole teaching has come from struggling with mental health problems, but thank God, quite a few stages of my life finding happiness despite having a mental health issue and anxiety and depression and paranoia and overwhelming thoughts. So it's it's really, this is really, really meaningful. It means a lot. And I like to learn. I don't just learn from, I learn from other people. I listen to the same people that you guys are probably listening to online. And I was listening to Joe Rogan speak to Dave Chappelle and Goggins, and he was saying the same thing. He was saying that that if people find something that they enjoy doing, which is exactly what I'm saying, just in a different way. I'm saying the word purpose. He said they'll be happy in their life. And he also said what I agree with. He said, lots of people are doing jobs where they're making a lot of money, but they hate their job. They don't enjoy it. And they're wasting so many hours of their life every day doing a job that they hate just for the money. And then they wonder why they're miserable. Where he was saying what I would say, I'd rather do a job where I'm not saying low pay, but you're getting paid a bit less, but you love it. If you love it and you enjoy it, then I think it's better to earn less money and be happier. What would you rather, honestly? Would you rather earn, would you rather earn 100 grand, but doing a job that you hate and it's affecting your mental health? Or would you rather earn 50 grand a year, but for 50 grand a year, you love what you do? I'll take the 50 grand straight away. Because money doesn't mean that much to me. It's nice to make money and we all need it. So it goes deep, this, but it's common sense, really. It's common sense. And that's why when I coach any of my clients, whether I'm doing business coaching or dating and relationship coaching or social anxiety coaching, the first question before I get into anything and I sell my coaching or we book coaching, my first question to anyone is always, what's your goal? Like, what do you want my help for? What do you want to achieve? And then they'll say, they'll be like, well, I want to get a long-term relationship, or I just want to, I want to overcome my fears and start my own business, or I want to act on my passion. So it's important to know it really does help you. And I would say to anybody out there watching this, any guy who is struggling at the moment, who doesn't know what his purpose is, doesn't know how to find it, that's fine. That's not the end of the world. It's not over. Just stay on that for a second and just go, okay, start to do some research. I honestly believe, I'm a huge believer in you learn what you surround yourself with. So if you watch my videos and you follow my channel, subscribe, because I'm living my purpose and my story, and I talk about my fears on this channel, my failures, my successes, my journey, how I help other people, all the things that I try and be as open as I can. It will help you to figure out what your purpose is in life. And I would say, obviously, listen to other teachers, learn from smart people, learn from positive people, listen to what they're saying, and it will inspire. And that's what I've done. I listened to Les Brown, and he played a part. Les Brown massively played a part in me doing what I'm doing now. If I didn't listen to his audio tapes back in, what was it? Was it 2000? And it was before 2012, when I was in a very bad place in my life, and I wanted to kill myself, but I was scared to do it. I was depressed. I couldn't come out of my house because of my anxiety and paranoia. And all right, Timmy, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for commenting. So I listened to Les Brown, and he spoke about all these things, and it inspired me to go out and face my fears. So on a practical level, if any guy out there saying, right, okay, you agree with me and you want to live your purpose and you're ready to do it, but you're asking yourself the question, what can I do right now to live it? And the quickest thing you can do is face your fears. You know, sometimes we got to go over here and we got to face fears that have got nothing to do with over here. So let me give you an example. So maybe you've got relationships over here that you want to achieve and money, but over here you got to face the fear of maybe facing your social anxiety, losing weight, giving up an addiction. You do those things over here, you get clarity, you get confidence, you have more understanding, and then you're ready to go over here. Does that make sense? So this goes into everything, man. This goes deep. That's why I like talking about it. And that's why, again, I might lose a few people here, but that's okay. That's why I put the videos out of me punching the bag. I love boxing. I love what it does, how it makes you a better person, how it makes you feel. When you go and hit that heavy bag and you give it everything you've got, you don't need to be a boxer, you don't need to be good at boxing, just put the gloves on, get in front of a heavy bag, let your steam out, get all the aggression out, or just enjoy it. Just have a look at how I do it on the bag. You get clarity, you know, you feel like you feel you can achieve anything, you feel better, especially if you do it regularly. So that's why I say things like boxing will help you to align to your purpose. If you are not able to do it through, you know, talking to a teacher or sitting down and speaking to a friend, you know. And to be honest, I'm pretty lucky because I'd say all the friends or people that I'm around, they all live their purpose. They're all doing something that they're very good at and that they're getting paid a lot of money, and that is benefiting other people. So I'm also around it myself for the most part. It wasn't always like that for me. Yeah, it goes quite deep, but come back to the same thing. I'm going to use some different terms because not everybody understands this terminology. It can be a bit deep. So you've got to have a goal in life. I would ask the question, what is your goal? So, you know, goal, passion, hobby. Let me give you some examples of things that I like, and I hope that can help you to figure out what you like. So there's quite a few hobbies that I've got, things that I love. One of the hobbies that I absolutely love, I've been doing it for almost 11 years, is I love making YouTube videos. I just absolutely love it. I like the whole process. I really enjoy speaking in front of the camera. I enjoy uploading it. I'm fine with the reactions if people like it, if they're critical. It doesn't bother me. I like the editing, you know, the whole production. I just enjoy it. I just love it. I've been doing it for almost 11 years, and that's a hobby that I discovered by accident. You know, I just started to teach, do dating coaching, and YouTube was the platform everyone was using. No, I'm not going to answer that question. It's not important to talk about other people. So you'll have to have some patience. So you know, doing the videos made me realize how much I enjoy them. So that's one of my hobbies, passions, making YouTube videos. Very simple, and I love it, and it changes people's lives. So I love that as a hobby. I'm lucky that the hobby that I love, which is making YouTube videos, because I love it and I enjoy it, and well, it's free for you guys, but it's not free for me. I've got to invest my own money in equipment, which I love doing. But off the back of it, I make a lot of money. I attract business from all around the world because people see my videos, they hear my story, and they get the confidence coaching and they get a lot of value. Not everybody does it, which is fine. That's life. But many people come and do coaching with me, and they pay me, which is great. So that's one of the hobbies. A second hobby that I love is I love drinking coffee. I like going to different places and having coffee and spending time on my own and just relaxing. And I even like doing it at home. So I go to all different coffee shops, find new coffee shops. I love it. It's a little hobby, but it gives me satisfaction, makes me appreciate life. It's simple, so I love that. So that's two I've got there. You making YouTube videos, drinking coffee, trying different coffees, going to different coffee shops. Third one, which I absolutely love, is boxing training. I don't need much, just a pair of boxing gloves and a heavy bag. And I don't need anyone. I just can be on my own, work out on the bag, and I just love it. That's been a hobby of mine since I started boxing. I started boxing at 19, 20. So for 20 years, I'm almost 40. So that's something that I love doing. It connects me, you know, on every level. It helps me mentally, gives me confidence, helps me deal with stress. Same to you, Tim. I've always appreciated your support. I appreciate you, mate. So I love boxing. I just enjoy it. I love working out. So that's 3 things already. Now, another thing that I love doing is weight training. I've always loved bodybuilding and weight training. I've been doing it for quite a few years on a recreational level. And I love it. I just enjoy it. It's fun, it's simple, and it's exciting. So that's great. That's already 4 things. So to give you guys some ideas. So, you know, YouTube videos, drinking coffee, finding coffee shops, boxing, the heavy bag, weight. That's 4 things already, right? 5th one is something that I enjoy doing, and that's cooking. I like cooking for myself. I like cooking healthy meals. So that's 5 things already. Right, I'm going to stop there for a second. Now, sometimes we don't realize things that we enjoy. Why? Because we never take the time to sit down and ask ourselves these questions as men. Like, instead of focusing on what I hate, what I don't like, what's getting me down, what's making me depressed, what's making me feel insecure. Yep, you got it, man. You got it, Timmy. You're a mind reader. Salmon, brown rice, and some broccoli. You can't beat it. You know, instead of focusing always on the negative or what we don't have, if you sit down and give yourself that present time and really think about or feel about what you enjoy doing, you'll find things that you enjoy. And usually they are simple things, but when you do these simple things, they change your life. So purpose can be, you know, it can be all these things as well. So there's that. Another thing that I love doing, which is obviously part of my business and coaching, and is running meetup groups, is, you know, doing events, bringing good people together, and doing lectures and talks, and also letting other people talk, bringing people. I love doing that. It's my passion as well. So that's 6 things. Wow. I also love walking. I like going for long walks, if I'm with a girlfriend or a date or a friend or a family member or on my own. So 7 things. So sometimes we don't realize that there are lots of things in our life that we enjoy doing, but as I said, we get distracted. So it really comes down to, and I can say this, right? Every person I've met lots of people in my life, and every person I've met who's living their passion, they're happier. They are, and their life does seem to go better as a result. And obviously, it's not judging, but I'm just being straight. Every person that I've met in my life who is not living their purpose in their life and they don't have a goal, they're miserable. They're miserable, and they're not easy to be around because of the negativity. And I have been like that myself at some point, as I said, at the start of my journey, all throughout my early 20s. I was like that. I was lost, and you know, maybe I'm being hard on myself at the time. I weren't fun to be around because I was depressed and miserable. So when you take all these things into account, you know, of course it's a wake-up call and it's a slap in the face, because you, of course, if you're miserable and not happy, then, you know, how can you be happy if you're just trying to pursue women and you haven't got these things addressed? It's a no-brainer. Yeah, walking's amazing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do individual videos on this. Well, you write in such a sophisticated way, Timmy. How do you come up with that? That's a talent you got there. The way that you write and the way that you speak, some really sophisticated stuff there. I read that. That's interesting. So yeah, I'm going to simplify it in some videos because I realise this can go over a lot of people's head. It is quite deep. It is a bit philosophical, but this is stuff that I live in reality. But I am going to make a series of videos on YouTube to help men to overcome their fear and find their purpose. I'm going to simplify it. I'll probably start off by saying, you know, what do you enjoy doing? and then we can build on that, and then go further and further with it. And I'm just making a point of saying as well that I'm still learning with this as well. So it's not like, oh, when you find your purpose and when you live it, you're perfect. I ain't perfect by any means. I think nobody is. So I'm still growing and learning as I'm going along, and teaching and sharing and enjoying it. So, Tyson Fury speaks on this a lot. I love the way he speaks on it. He simplifies it, and he talks about mental health. And, the two things I've taken from Fury, and I agree with him 100%, that anybody can take, is he talks about having a long-term goal in life, and then having really simple, small goals on a daily basis to give you happiness and good mental health. So another teacher, another person who's saying the same thing that I'm saying from their own experience in their own way, and that will resonate with the people that are going to understand it. So I know a lot of people will watch this later on, or maybe in a few months' time, and you will understand what I'm saying. You'll agree on it, not for my sake, because quite frankly, I don't need anyone to agree with me on this. It's not about you agreeing with me. This is about me going, I know this works for me. This makes me happy, 100%. And I want to help the people that are asking for my help, need to hear my experience in teaching and can apply it for them. Those that don't agree has nothing to do with me. That's their opinion. They've got a right. It's not going to change how I feel, which is happy living my purpose and happy to help people who are struggling and want my help. And I've had so many deep conversations with clients about this, and it's been great to talk to people who are also same as me, have the social anxiety, the struggles, the anxiety to begin with, all the things that I've been through in my story, and they're fixing it and getting past it and doing, not copying what I'm doing, but doing the same thing in the sense of facing their fears and improving and getting past anxiety and self-doubt in the past and creating a better future for themselves. And that's another big part of living your purpose. Is one of the biggest challenges for me and for all of us, and Les Brown spoke on this. You've got to let go of the past. You've got to find a way of not letting the past drag you back and bring you down and make you believe that I'm not good enough. I'm not enough because in my past I got laughed at, or I got rejected, or I got bullied, or I was made to feel like a loser. You have to let go of that, and that's part of the process that takes time of discovering what you enjoy doing, what motivates you, what makes you happy as a man, what makes you feel secure, what makes you motivated to get up every day, get out of bed and go and do it and put effort into it. And when you have that in life, there's no question of a doubt that you're in a more attractive place in regards to women, in regards to everything in life, even friendships, financial. This affects everything in a positive way. So a simple message for anyone watching this video, guys, figure out as quick as you can what you enjoy doing in your life and go and do it. And I honestly believe when you find what you enjoy in life, and when you do it and you put all your heart into it, you always make money eventually. The passion, the hobby that you enjoy doing, which is just a hobby to begin with. I don't mean that turns into a business if you want. Of course, if you didn't want it to, then that's fine. It's not really about whether it makes money or not. It's really about whether it makes you happy. But I'm saying one of the great consequences of doing something that you enjoy, that makes you happy, is you attract money off the back of it. People want to pay you. That's why that's why people want to pay me all around the world to meet me and learn from me, hear my story and apply my teaching, because they are attracted and they sense that I am living my purpose and I'm enjoying it. And that's the reason why I was attracted to work with really good teachers that were aligned to their purpose, and I wanted to hear their story, and I wanted to get some help from them and learn and improve my life. So it's just, everyone can do it. It's not like, purpose doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter about your class or your background or where you're from. It's all about you. It's all about, have you got the guts and the courage to face your fears and go and live that, and not care about what other people think. Because if I was to spend more than a second thinking about what do other people think about what I'm doing or living, I wouldn't do it. I don't care what they think, because I value what I think. I enjoy it so much, it doesn't matter what they say. So it alleviates the fear of hate or criticism or trolls or anything like that. So you know what, guys, I'll end it on that. I think I've done it enough. I want to save some energy because I'm going to make lots more videos on this. I feel right about this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and as I said, the teaching has been evolving. That's a good point, Timmy. So yeah, to be continued, guys. I will see you, speak to you soon. Just a reminder as well to anybody at the moment, I am doing coaching. I've been taking on clients. It's going very well. So if anyone's interested in working with me, send me an email. I have a weekend confidence program next weekend in London. I've got some spaces for that. So if you're interested in coming on, just send me an email and I'll get back to you ASAP. Like, share, subscribe. Any questions you've got, post them. Appreciate the support. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on this. All right, guys, pleasure.